saying that it would remove the invisibility,
Got it.
and people were downloading it like mad to try and see all the
But that
naked
doesn't
people.
work.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah,
it was
okay, yeah.
it was a virus for their phones.
Oh, yeah, that's better.
They were just getting like they got flooded with how many people hit up for that.
It was like, here's your chance to see some free porn.
Yeah.
So, and for me to get all your credit card data.
I'm like, oh, well, I don't feel bad for them.
Oh, do you
I'll be
want
right back.
Oh, that was Will. I'm Pat.
Yes, I was.
I'm Jeffrey.
Hi, Jeffrey. I guess William has a phone call. So, yeah. It must be important. I don't get phone calls unless it's from India anymore.
I get some, but I haven't answered one since I had my fence repaired.
Oh, yes. I guess my mom calls me every now and then. I answer that one sometimes.
I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is nothing against my mother. It's just that she does not call when it's convenient. So it's
Yeah. No, that's the one thing about being on kind of a normal schedule. So, my mom knows when I'm free.
yeah, and to be fair, my mother keeps the same kind of bizarre schedule that I do. So
Yeah.
we bounce back off each other. It's fine. She I think she still wakes up at 3 o'clock in the morning. So
Jesus. Yeah. Whatever, man.
people are weird, Patrick.
I know, man.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you.
That's still too early.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. That means that for her, I mean, there is a balance because that means that she is turning in at like 7:30.
Oh, so she still gets a full night's sleep.
She does, but yeah, she
Oh.
turns in super early, wakes up super early, but it's kind of like she's on an entirely different shift.
Yeah. See, my mom's got the different problem. She's getting so old that she just can't sleep anymore. So,
Yeah.
and that does happen where you do get to the point in time where, I don't know, but it's just like, nah, you only need 3.5 hours of sleep a night.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, see, that's the thing is your body only needs like 3 hours of sleep, but you need more rest,
Yeah.
which is different. I find resting to be pathetic.
You don't like rest?
I hate it. I'd rather be sleeping.
Oh.
I'd rather be sleeping. Yeah.
What do you mean by rest? Just sitting on the couch watching TV rest? Or?
Yeah, just like
I'm good.
My body's tired.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I can
Yeah.
function fine.
Fuck that. No, that's
How else do you watch all of House of Dragon in 2 days?
on the weight machine, bro. From the bench.
So you're gonna be dying because that's a lot of hours
Yeah.
of work in there.
Oh, what'd you think? Yeah, because you said you were marathoning it. How is it?
I thought it started slow,
That's what I've heard.
really slow.
Yeah.
And so it was hard. Like that's why I hadn't really gotten through it yet. But now that it's finished, I really want to see the next season.
I heard that show catches steam like super fast.
The dragons are way cooler in this one than House of
They're
Dragon.
huge.
Yeah, than Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
And there's lots more of them. So
Yeah.
you get all sorts of variations and stuff like that. And the switching the actors or actresses in the middle.
They did it after episode 2, right?
No, it was like episode 4 or 5,
Okay.
something like that. But that was a little weird.
What do you mean switching the actresses?
They had to switch somebody
They
out.
didn't have to. Oh, it's a bunch.
Oh, really?
It's several.
Oh.
Because they're trying to do like a timeline, and so the people that were the main two are the girls, and there's 2 girls, and they're supposed to be like 17ish,
Uh-huh.
and so they're supposed to keep aging, and so about episode 4 they swap it out and they say it's 10 years later,
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
and then these other 2 take it from the rest of the way.
That's not too bad. The Crown did the same thing several
Did they?
times. Yeah, they changed out Queen Elizabeth 3 times. So,
Oh, for being different ages?
getting older.
Okay.
Yeah, it made sense.
It's weird.
Yeah.
Like it's
I mean, as long as... So, there are some times where that works, but, like, say, for example, we know we finished our review on it, but the young versus old Nicole Kidman in The Norseman was weird.
That was kind of weird.
Okay.
right? Where it's the same person, but like, you know what I mean? It's that the same person doing it can be kind of creepy. Did you ever see
But-
Prometheus?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
And who is it that's playing?
Fassbender.
No, not well. Everyone else Fassbender. It's who's playing Wayland.
Oh, that's Guy Pearce.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
And the old man makeup just like
It doesn't look good
it's
on him.
weird.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Well, he's not that old, so it's kind of weird. Yeah. I mean, he's probably in his 50s or something, but or maybe he's
Well, I mean, how old was he in LA Confidential? 30s?
if that. He was pretty young.
Yeah, he might have.
Yeah. I mean, when was that movie? That was probably like 20 years.
90
25?
98. Yeah.
Yeah, so about 25.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, probably 50.
Probably 50.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know Russell Crowe was still young in that movie.
Guy's a child,
I
practically.
guess, man, but you know, in Australia, being 30 counts as being a child. So,
Well,
And putting on weight.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go join a band.
yeah.
And, you
what?
didn't get to see him as Zeus, huh?
Oh,
In
the
that train
Thor?
wreck.
No,
Oh
I
my
did
god, it's
not.
so horrible.
I did not.
Ah,
And I don't know if I will. I don't know if it's going to happen because you got to understand. You remember what the
it's better than Birds of Prey, and you saw that.
yes, but Birds of Prey was pounding nails into my own dick. You have to I'm not here to like just suffer through a slightly less torture, right? That's not my game here. So
You set the bar really low.
no, okay, but what I'm just saying here, like, so there used to be a bleed valve for movies that did not look worth your time in the theaters, and that bleed valve used to be called TNT. And when, let's say Doom came out in the theaters, and you're like, I'm not going to waste money on that. You hang out for a few years, and it shows up on TNT, right?
Okay.
And so, since I'm never going to pay for cable again, right? Thor Ragnarok is never going to show up on TNT for me.
It has many times for me.
Is it actually? It's
Yeah,
actually
Thor
on.
Ragnarok, yes.
Well, that's because you have Disney Plus, right?
No, it's on. It's been on TNT.
It's
Like,
actually been on TNT.
yeah, they TNT gets a lot of the.
Yeah, not Ragnarok. I saw that in the theater. No, Love and Thunder. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that.
And yeah, same thing. I have a very low chance of seeing double Wakanda. You know,
You
Because
don't
I
want to
don't
see
have-
it just to rip it. Like,
by myself.
well, I mean, somewhere along the way, it seems like it'd be right up your alley of something fun.
Maybe okay, so if it hits something for free, yes. Look, well, it's not even worth my time and effort to pirate it. It's not. It's not.
Isn't that like 3 clicks?
I'm not really here
Or-
to talk
or-
about the.
Or are movies harder than your sports?
No, you know.
Okay.
Look, frankly, like they're about on par with each other.
Okay.
But I don't. To be fair, I actually don't like doing that. I don't.
Yeah,
Um,
you were pretty morally opposed to that for a long time.
Yeah, sports is just something that I couldn't get around. I guess, for a while there, it was just having to play the out of market game with like the MLB app and hockey and trying to do that stuff.
Would you pay $2 a game?
Yeah. For which
For
sport?
that's what I was like, for
Which sport?
baseball.
I was gonna say like
That's a lot of money. Hockey, all of them.
football for sure. Okay, that's
$30,
30
$34
bucks.
bucks. Yeah,
Matter of
manageable
fact, if they said like, hey, $50 gets you the whole season.
per team.
I
Sure.
haven't really found it hard to find football games though.
Well, when it comes Pat, so like if there's a team that you want to watch every week,
Yeah.
right? So if you were Steelers guy
Yeah.
and you wanted to watch all the games
Yeah.
and you live in Colorado,
No, I mean I can get them all on YouTube TV. So you just set the channel to record that.
Can you watch it live?
Yeah, you
Okay.
can.
Oh yeah, no, I get what you're saying,
Yeah.
but
Any game?
Yeah.
well, as long as it's broadcasted, and look, there are also other ways that you can do this.
Well, they're all
like,
broadcast.
Yeah.
Every football game is broadcast.
No, I understand that, but like, say for example, like when you use YouTube TV, it does ask you to have your location on,
Yeah.
and so it can lock you.
So
in
you're
that way.
not
It
supposed to
doesn't
get...
lock you out of football games. So I've seen it lock me out of baseball games. But the football ones, you just go down to where the NFL shit is, and they're all there.
Huh.
So
Well, I never did that with football, but yeah,
Yeah.
for baseball and stuff,
they would lock you out.
Yeah, but that was something else you could always do.
VPN into a different...
VPN. I live in China.
Huh. Yeah, I'm still paying for cable.
This is the thing. I can't. Why in God's green earth would I pay for cable and a streaming service, right? Any streaming service.
Because I watch all of it.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so fortunately for you, William, you are the prime example of why you buy nice shoes, right? You're going to do a lot of walking. It's okay to spend $200 on shoes, right? If you're just in the house, right?
Then I don't need shoes.
You don't need shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if you're going to watch a lot of TV.
If you're using it, then
Yeah.
absolutely, right? But I guess well, that was like we talked about this when I was like when we were like wasting rig money, and it was just the sheer number of things that you and I were subscribed to, and that money walked out the door the first of the month, regardless.
I used pretty much everything I was subscribed to.
Good on you, man. I respect that. I was Pat shaking his head over here too. He's,
Oh, no.
no.
Yeah. Jeff was like, I can fix all things with money. You know, I
Well,
never
it
went into
does.
debt until I worked on the railroad and I had 6 digits income. I never went into debt before that. And then all of a sudden it's like, I get a check at the end of the month and, we'll pay it all off. And then you don't. Yeah.
Never went in debt when I was... Once I got out of debt.
Right, yeah.
That was like the first 2 years of what it was.
Well,
Getting
yeah.
out of debt.
That's all my students said all the time. I was like, you're going to get out of here, you're going to get a good job, and you're going to go bananas. So, what you need to do is you need to just, take half your income, your new income, and play around with that and leave the other half alone. You'll feel a lot better in 6 months. So,
What's my dog?
She went down to go see me in the garage. And she...
Did you put her in the garage?
Oh, she's on the little bed down.
Okay. I'm curious. That's all. I just wanted to make sure you didn't throw her in the garage and say,
You don't
Yeah.
have much fur.
off you go. Yeah. You can go
Enjoy the cold.
yeah, well, it's trash night, too, so have at it.
you know, that's you raise a great point because that's right. So yeah, that's the whole anti-austerity argument,
What?
right? When it comes down to it's way harder to cut spending when the money sort of dries up versus actually curbing that the smart way when the money is coming in.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
should just be a little bit more careful when you actually...
Yeah.
Like you get your first raise, you roll half of that in your 401k or something like that, and then take the other half and I got a 0.5% raise. It'll feel better, but then you'll still be saving money. So, it's... I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's the smart way of doing it.
Yeah. It took me many tries to figure that out.
How bad it would be feeling right now to be some of the guys I worked with. It's like, well, so how'd you make it through the tough times? And it's like, I had to part with so many guns.
You just start selling guns. So, Charlene, I miss you.
Because the guys loved them. They loved them.
They were all getting jobs at AutoZone and
Oh.
different things.
Oh, trucking. Yeah.
Well, I mean, some of them didn't, because some of them didn't have their trucking license and stuff, and they would just,
Oh.
because the Perrys, he said his son had zero in savings after working in the oil field for 4 years, and then they
Oof.
got cut, and he's just like, I have no money. It's like, how do you have no money? My garage is full of stuff.
That's not money.
Well, I mean, you could have it worse. It's like, what do you just go downstairs? It's like, so these are Funko Pops, right?
Yeah. Check out my pod collection.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the fucking ugliest collectibles on the planet. You got into trade shows and stuff, and so you
I hate those
It's so
things, yes.
fucking ugly.
They're everywhere, though. Yeah.
It's just hideous,
For everything.
absolutely hideous, and they all have that dumb face.
Well, yeah, and now they make them plush toys as well.
Oh,
Do they?
Oh, yeah.
No.
Oh, yeah. So it's like a Funko plush toy. Cool.
I know what to get you for Christmas.
Yeah.
Will, I hate crap. You do understand that one way or another, I'm going to end up with half of Mom's, right?
Yeah, probably. So I didn't realize it. So when company gave me this thing, this fleece, they if you could either got this or you could have gotten something else. They had a coffee mug that you can set the temperature of your coffee to that degree.
Shut the fuck up.
I've never seen this before. And
Was it nuclear powered?
it's like $130 coffee mug.
Oh.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
You get a $130 fleece?
I don't think it is.
Yeah, I don't think
but
so.
Well, I mean, it's what's he going to use? Is he going to use?
I was never going to use a coffee mug, so
I don't think I've ever seen you drink coffee.
I don't ever
Yeah.
drink coffee or any warm beverage.
Really?
No.
Not like cider or nothing? No.
Never seen him drink dry. You're not a hot chocolate guy, I don't think. I mean, you won't turn it down,
that's
but
Hot chocolate.
fine, but I'm not going out of my way to make it.
no. And frankly,
Not
I
that
mean,
it's hard, but
no, it's not hard. It's just
Right, yeah. So you're sitting here shaving off the Nestle's block, you know. So,
it ain't right unless it's.
Yeah. Have you ever been to France? Yeah.
you
it's
gotta put the dollop on top and then shave a little bit of
right.
chocolate shavings on top.
Well, it's not just chocolate shavings. Well, there's actually like other spices you're
Nutmeg or
supposed to put on
something,
there.
I don't know.
If you're fancy.
I
Well,
don't.
so the American way is milk or water goes in cup.
Marshmallows.
yeah.
Well, you're missing the second step.
Oh, the chocolate.
Yeah, powder comes next.
Well, yeah.
well, powder goes in the cup first, and then you pour the water on it.
What?
No,
Fuck yeah.
no, you gotta put
You
the.
guys do it backwards, man.
Well, no, because then you
Then
have
it gets
to
the
really.
clumpy stuff
yeah.
on the bottom.
There's nowhere for it to set. Like it has to go through the water, and then if you stir it.
man.
But if you have it already sitting on the bottom, the water mixes with the stuff on top, and then you're stirring.
I'm telling
and
you, it works.
Fuck you, it works. Then I know what we're talking about too. So unless you're the kind of guy that, and I don't blame you, all right? If you're the dude that privately likes the, the little like prize sludge down there at the bottom, you're gonna eat that. That's fine, right?
Mhm.
But fluid goes in first, man.
Oh,
Powder
yeah,
goes on
yeah.
top. You start stirring because otherwise you make the deposit. You make the river silt.
No, I don't have a problem with that. Kids just don't stir it enough.
Oh, that's the problem.
Yeah.
I don't make it enough,
no,
but we've always done it the right way.
We're
So we
the
don't.
assholes.
I don't have to
Yeah, I
worry
get it.
about
You
how
guys
much
are-
I
that's fine.
stirred it or
Yeah,
not.
It's fine.
There's simple
Backwards.
physics that are playing into effect here that
Probably those guys are trying
it
back. in
has
parking
to
spots, too.
diffuse into.
Call combat door.
I use the kind that they actually put in the MREs.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Just trucks. Even when I go to the dog park, every truck has to be backed into the spots. I'm like,
Anybody with TV plates, man.
oh, come on. Where are you evacuating from here?
Oh, well, I'd rather have them back in than fucking, like, I see this all the time. And the worst place was actually the parking garage at the school where you'd have this big ass long bed pickup truck, and then they leave that triple fucking
The toe
the
thing
trailer
sitting
hitch
right
on it,
out.
so it's like this can opener sticking out in traffic.
Mm.
So yeah, it's just like, oh man, how like unaware of your own like jackassery can you be?
I just don't care.
I guess I get it. You don't care, but I mean, you're gonna care at some point in time when you rip the side of my car open. I hit your insurance up. So,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Well, okay, I mean, you're touching on a completely different point of mine here for a long time is, are you justified in buying a truck if you're never going to haul anything?
I don't really have a problem with
I don't
people
know.
doing that. So, I don't think that you need to be forced into a certain category of car based upon your preference or upon your needs. So it's kind of like saying, well, you're pretty chubby guy. You don't need a sweatshirt. All you get is a t-shirt. Yeah. So you're gonna be okay.
Some countries' healthcare systems work that way, bro.
Right. Well, not here, but yeah.
Well, and then even the ones that say like compact parking, they still park in there, and it's just
That-
like, come
alright.
on, dude.
Yeah. Those guys need tickets.
Yes.
So yeah.
Like they did this because the space is tiny. You know better. Just because it happens to be closer than the spot 10 spots down.
Yeah.
Well, I'll admit, look, I've weird and possibly, unfair feelings about a lot of things in traffic. So, I mean, like,
You don't go anywhere. How do you have so much animosity towards traffic?
because I used to.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, so yeah, I do have a little bit of trouble with like big trucks. If it's not something that you're ever going to use, get a smaller truck. Get an SUV. That's fine too, right?
Well, some of those are just as big.
Some of those are just as big, but at the same time, it's just like,
But usually, if you're getting a big SUV, usually you have like 5 kids.
Yeah, or you have too much money. So, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I've seen that happen a few times too.
So that's fine. Or again, if it's part of your drive, if it's part of like, look, I drive in the mountains, like no problem. You got to do what you got to do. But then again, I also have like irrational like anger for certain other things. Like if I see a motorcycle lane split, my brain fucking explodes.
Is that legal in the state?
Nope.
Are you
It's
sure?
illegal in every state except for
Okay.
California.
Yeah, okay. I knew there was some kind of weird rule behind that.
There's one,
Yeah.
and it's California.
California, of all things. Well, yeah, so it gets you off
Which
at 405. Yeah.
Totally understands, right? Because if your incentive is, can we please get people to drive smaller things
Right.
to get the world's worst traffic moving? Got it. Okay,
Yeah.
that's a necessity thing, right? But in any other circumstance, I fucking hate it so much.
Do we have a helmet law here?
That I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know either. I've definitely seen lots of people right now without a helmet, but I don't know if we actually have a law here or not. Not being, someone who imbibes in the two-wheeled variety
No,
of vehicle.
No. Although I have given thought to getting just like a road bike.
A road bike? What do you
Yeah.
mean by road bike?
No, a bicycle.
Oh, bicycle.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I have one
I
of
thought
those.
you meant like a Harley. Yeah. If you're talking about a road bike, that's where my brain
Why
went.
why would I get so if I make one trip to the grocery store per week, why would I buy the one type of vehicle that I can't actually go and get groceries with?
I don't know. I've seen you buy weird shit from time to time. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. But I mean, like the only other thing I'm gonna do is sometimes where I take my dog, and again, like unless I put her in like a cute backpack, or something,
You get a little basket and put it up front. Yeah. You talk and hang out like Snoopy.
yeah. Yeah, I don't. I'm sorry, I don't even like motorcycles, and I certainly don't like.
There was a point in time in my life, like very early when my wife and I first got married, that we thought about getting
I
motorcycles.
remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. And then my father-in-law had a bad spill on his and really tore his arm to pieces. Should have died, but didn't. And it was like no fault accident. He had a humongous motorcycle. So he had like that
Right.
thing from that fucking LucasArts game.
Yeah, the full throttle.
The full throttle. Yeah, he had the full throttle, man, and he still went over somebody's hood on it. So
Yeah, and he's a gargantuan human being.
he's shrinking, man. So he's. I saw him at Thanksgiving. I was actually kind of like, whoa, man. I didn't really notice it before because he used to like tower over me.
Yeah,
He doesn't anymore, man.
really.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah.
thinking that way?
Shrinking that way.
Oh.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Well, okay. Now, I guess the last time I saw him, he was still tall. He was in shape. He was.
He's in pretty good shape, but
He had
he's
that.
definitely shrinking.
At the time I saw him last, he had that kind of like Walter White thing going on with the bald head.
No, he's back to the Stephen King haircut.
Okay,
yeah.
gotcha.
Yeah.
So yeah, he had that going on, and you're like, if that dude got in that wreck, what would it be like for me?
Oh, I'd be dead. So yeah. So I would have gone over 2 cars.
Which might have worked. I mean, like if one car is like the road and the other one is like mattresses, then
That would have been great.
I don't know.
Yes.
Maybe that worked out.
Yeah, it's a fucking glass recycling. Right in the bed.
Wow, this would have killed anybody else, but yeah, I got it. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's not fair, and you know, it is what it is. I just don't, you know, I don't like it. I don't.
It's just never been for me.
What, motorcycles? in
Yeah,
general? Yeah.
never had an interest.
I don't know, but every game that I play, I go for the bike. So
Really?
yeah, GTA or like Cyberpunk. It's like I'm good with the bike.
That was because of the game, at least for me. Like, I kept killing way too many pedestrians in car.
It's like trying to steer a barge around, man. I can't do it. So
Well, I don't. So how can these games know that it's like they still design the streets? They take an actual map and they say, all right, well, we're using these maps, and in these maps of these somewhat realistic places, Los Santos, for example, where you may as well have just like taken an overhead map, said, well, all these streets are built for people that go 35. Right? But they know that their target audience is going to be doing at least 150.
right, yeah. Through residential neighborhoods. Yeah.
I would feel like you'd need to account for that.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. I mean, I'd introduce some natural balance in the game, like give the police Apache helicopters, you know. So, send them after you as soon as you bowled over somebody's kid. You know?
Right.
That might teach you some respect. I don't know.
You know who that is?
Yeah.
His father's on the city senate. Or whatever. I don't know. Have some kind of.
Well, actually,
Important
the worst
job, yeah.
game for that was fucking L.A. Noire.
That was stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, that was absurd. Yeah.
Trying to obey the traffic laws with the old school stoplights that just ding, you know, and they get the little semaphore on.
Oh my
Oh,
god!
fuck, it was fun, man. But after a little while, it was just like, nah, I'm driving on a cart. And you were driving a boat in the game. So,
And it handled like shit.
it handled like a boat. Yeah.
It was terrible.
Every car. Even the one that was supposed to be good, the convertible, it was a boat. So,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
It was trash all around, but it was fun. But yeah, that was a mistake. I would argue that you need to take into account that the actual controls of driving in games is not actually conducive to driving the speed limit,
No,
right?
it's not.
Because there would be a way different feel in how much pedal you give it with your right trigger finger to give it speed.
Yeah, most of them that I play, you just hold down an accelerate button.
Right, you
Yeah,
put the
okay.
thing all the way down, it's going to put you to 180 like
Oh, especially in
Pretty quick.
GTA.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm not, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, yeah. Whereas if you're actually going with the design of like the traffic and the way that the actual pedals and gears and stuff work, I mean, they don't sit there and say, I mean, you can drive like Pat's Tercel in those games. They'll have them, but you never
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
But yeah, it would accelerate slowly and then shift gears and then
Yeah. Yeah, it's been hard to find a game where driving actually felt somewhat natural. So,
and that is to say that natural is fun either. That's also part
That's
of the
true,
problem
too.
is I do this.
yeah.
Right. It's like I went to Safeway. You're going to spend $4 million making the Safeway drive.
Safeway driving simulator. So,
Am I going to stop at Petco? No, they won't be open for another 15 minutes. I'll get them next week.
yeah, this sounds like a thrilling game. Sign me up.
You know what? I'll have them Amazon new food. It'll be here by tomorrow.
Yeah, the Amazon delivery game.
Jesus
It's like you drive it. It's like, no, I sit here and wait for the shit to come.
See, Amazon Driver could actually be kind of like an interesting game,
The
right?
more deliveries you get,
Right. So that
You get
means
more
you
money.
have to, yeah, it would
Brady,
be like,
I don't think Amazon's signing off on this.
No, you just call it something else. What's
Paperboy.
God, that was
is
so cool. I would love to do a game where you just throw newspaper or throw something at houses and
pretty
stuff.
much Amazon. Yeah.
I don't know. I think I'd make a porch pirate game. So every
Go on.
box is a loot crate. And then you have to resell it on eBay. You might get lucky. You might get a good drop today, Jeff.
Yeah, but
Or you get the Mark Rover.
no, it's fine. I'm just thinking about whether or not I should be taking notes or not. Because I mean, I think there is a decent. I think there's a decent idea in there.
Well, yeah, you follow the Amazon truck around, but if you get too close to him, he calls the cops or something. Or, you know, if you get busted on somebody's Ring camera and you're in a cul-de-sac neighborhood, they might trap you in there. You know, something like that. You're not allowed to have any guns or anything in this game. So if the cops catch you, they tase the fuck out of you.
Right. Well, and then you actually have to make bail and
Right.
right.
You have to
You
use
have
your
to-
ill-gotten gains to actually post bond.
you have to you actually have to face your disappointed family. And
Yeah.
like
You almost do it like Papers, Please, too, or if you get this thing and you realize it's like, oh, this is a handmade quilt sent by somebody's mother. Should I go put it back?
That's sort of yeah.
Yeah.
Well, actually, that's not true because you wouldn't get that on Amazon.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Well,
would
if you're
like
just driving, if you're just like following behind a UPS truck.
Well, UPS truck, or if it was like you're robbing the Etsy truck. No, there's no Etsy truck.
That's called the UPS truck.
All right,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
So,
What am I thinking? Etsy has their own planes and shit. No, so. Well, no, okay, I could actually see some merit in this. I could see some fun, and I like the absurdity of putting it closer to more analogous toward reality would be like funnier. Is like you get that thing like where you do get caught and like your fucking your girlfriend has to come bail you out. But she's only been dating you for like 3 months, so you gotta like convince her it's like, nah, this is the first time. I'm sorry.
this is a different type of game now.
But it like
This
totally strains
sounds
your
like
relationship,
Roblox.
and you
Yeah.
gotta
It sounds like
You
you
get-
could have told.
no. It's fine, and you gotta like smooth it over with work.
Because these stories are some of the same things I've seen on some of their games.
Well, you can make any kind of game you want on Roblox.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, some of these tales are just about as ridiculous as some of the ones that I've seen on Roblox.
See, we could make it fun though. Like you actually have to, you play into and then you pull back on the trauma, right? You have to own what it is, but you have to accept the mundanity of it. That's the appeal.
Sounds like that truck driving game, man.
Come on.
Well, you drive a truck for like hours and hours and hours just to wait for like, one accident to happen, kind of thing.
What, the desert bus?
Maybe it was the desert bus.
The desert
I'm
bus is
thinking.
different. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the infamous game that came along with Penn and Teller's Smoke and Mirrors.
Right, yeah. Didn't they develop that game? I think they
Penn
did.
and Teller made.
I think they had the idea
Yeah,
for it.
it was
Yeah.
it was for the Sega CD.
Yeah, it was a long time ago, but it
Oh.
had Desert Bus, which is a game where you drive a bus that has a slightly off kilter fucking
Alignment.
steering wheel.
Yes.
Yeah. And so if you just leave the controller, you die. Okay.
No,
Well,
you're wrong. You're wrong.
what?
If you don't die if you go off the road.
Right. You start over.
No,
Oh.
they tow you back
Yeah.
in real time.
That's even better.
Oh my god!
Yeah. That's even better. Yeah.
Oh
Now-
my god!
Well, the other thing you have to know here is the road is perfectly straight.
Yeah.
So the whole goal is just to stay straight.
It takes 8 hours.
It takes 8 hours.
8 hours of real time, and it
Do
is
you stop for
perfect-
like
Nope.
lunch or
No.
No.
gas?
No.
Nope.
You're just supposed to keep this thing straight for 8 hours.
And because it has a slight alignment problem, you cannot walk away because it will veer off.
God.
The whole game was like that. Well, the whole
Yeah.
game was them.
Is there
trying
a
to-
level 2?
No, that's one segment
track
of the
back.
game. No, that was part of the story of the game. Is you're supposed to be like doing like touring and stuff.
So this is like the long stretch.
Yes.
Dude, come on.
And it was
Did like little babies cross the road or anything like that?
nope.
Just, oh my gosh, I can't believe.
Oh, because that would be interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the part that you forget. If you wreck, they have
played
to
this?
tow you all the way back.
Why did you play this?
I didn't play it.
Oh, okay.
It turns out so
It's actually pretty hard to get your hands on.
well because it was never released.
Yeah.
It was what happened was years ago there was an actual ROM dump of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I thought it was funny, right? I was like, I have to get my hands on it. So it was in magazines and stuff like crazy for a while, and I'm like, this seems like such an asinine like just ridiculous game. Like I want this, never released, and then a few years later they did a ROM dump of it so that you can play it all over. And there are marathons of that and stuff too, so people have fun with it.
Yep.
Yeah, no thanks.
Nope. Not gonna happen. I can't imagine.
I think that's hilarious. I mean, there's a certain amount of like nuts that you have to say
There's no cars, no nothing. It's literally
no,
just.
no.
Rando cactuses.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that's not something on my bucket list. I wouldn't take that and call that an accomplishment.
8 hours.
Yeah, I'd rather have my 8 hours. I'd rather watch bad TV for 8 hours. So
I'd rather take an 8-hour drive. I'd rather
take an actual 8 hour
I'd rather drive the bus.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I would stop at what is that grocery store? Not that grocery store. What is that fucking convenience store they like so much? Buc-ee's.
Buc-ee's down in Texas.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. They're like the regional
That's the one with the
convenience
beaver.
stores. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, you do know Buc-ee's.
I know
Okay,
Buc-ee's.
Yeah.
So actually, I think on the podcast we had William look up Buc-ee's
Yeah.
once. Yeah. Okay.
Did he not believe it? Or what?
I just couldn't imagine what you were talking about.
It's a Walmart-sized
yeah. It's like, what?
It's a mecca.
It is. It's the Cabela's of
Right.
of yeah. Is that the big place? The one that's built like a pyramid?
What?
Cabela's.
Nah, Cabela's got rolled into Bass Pro
Oh, so
a
is
while ago.
okay. Is
So-
Bass Pro the big where they have like the huge like pyramid shaped stores and
I haven't seen a pyramid-shaped one.
The one that has like a
So-
Ferris wheel inside?
yeah, I think so.
That we
yeah.
just built up there on InterQuest? I can't think what the name of it is.
No, Bass Pro's been there for a while.
No, this is the new one.
Oh, something new. I don't know what it is then.
It's giant. Yeah, they have huge Ferris wheels inside.
Inside?
There was one up on it's on InterQuest now. We had one up at Loveland,
Oh,
and I can't think what they're called because I never go to one.
yeah.
We don't.
we don't
It's
shop
not for
there.
us, man. Yeah. I know they're building a huge ass amphitheater up there somewhere.
Like a
For-
music one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know where it's being built, but
I think it's somewhere north of Great Wolf.
oh, okay.
Somewhere around there. So
Oh, it's your stomping grounds.
Great Wolf?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love it.
somewhere around up there.
Yes, that's the only place I got space, huh? I mean, we've spread out the rest of
Well,
covered
eventually you're
everything.
gonna live in the middle of town too, buddy.
That's true. We up until about 6 months ago we had that, but now that's full.
Had what?
Space over here.
Oh, at Barnes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's
Oh.
full now.
Well, yeah, they put a hospital in there. So-
That's a hospital?
Yeah, there is a hospital with an actual emergency room going in there.
Shit.
Yeah,
And I
dude.
think the big thing is I think it's an old folks home or retirement
yeah,
center
it is.
right next to a hospital. That's pretty smart.
It is, but that's kind of morbid, don't you think?
I
Well,
bet you
either
that's
they
a
come to
selling
you or
point at that.
so,
Dude, come on. That's
no, the hospital is going to have two specialties. One of them is going to be emergency medicine. The other one's going to be geriatric care. I shit you not.
well, all right, that makes sense then.
I mean that old folks home, whatever it is, that is gigantic.
What, the one over there?
The one on Barnes? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that is like
It's pretty big.
Well, actually, that
It's
building
like
was
12
cool, too.
buildings like put together.
Right.
It's huge.
But you sure that's a retirement community? I thought it was going to be single unit apartments. So
Isn't it like multi-layer?
well, yeah, that's why I don't think you. Oh no, I guess I have seen old
But
folks
there
houses
are,
that do
there are other ones that
I don't
are.
know.
I didn't see any elevator shafts going there though. So like the other ones that I've seen build, they almost always have an elevator shaft somewhere.
Huh.
So
Oh, maybe.
I don't know. I'll have
I
to
don't know.
look.
I didn't
Yeah.
go on the.
I just assumed
yeah,
it was.
It looks like.
But
yeah,
I mean,
it all
could
looks
be.
single floor.
Well, you can tell it's got an elevator shaft because it'll have the rigging on top. So that box. So
Yeah, I didn't notice.
yeah.
The only thing I noticed that was
since I've been
elevated at
over.
all was the, whatever you call it, across the top of the front doors,
Yeah.
where you have that ornamental like facade.
The-
That's
yeah.
that's like the only thing that I saw that was over like one floor. But then again,
Really? I thought it looked way bigger.
well, because around it there are also multi-level like complex buildings over there too.
Well, those are apartments.
Yeah.
For sure.
Those are
Yeah.
for sure apartments, but I think the old place, I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah,
You know-
I don't know either.
Yeah, and you know what? This is not worth the field
It's
trip.
it's what's been painted in my head.
Yeah,
from the
everybody,
get-go.
let's pack up and go. So, William, start your car.
We had like 50 minutes of battery.
50 minutes
get the
of battery,
laptop
let's go.
and
Here we go.
fucking, hear the record.
The fucking road show.
Yeah.
We're gonna go check out the old folks home.
It's amazing. We're gonna let the thing run, right? And then we're gonna get there, and it's gonna be, oh shit! It is 2 levels.
It is too low.
Let's go back.
Let's go back.
And since we don't cut anything,
No, I don't believe in editing. So,
you have the other. It's like, well, we already went out. Like, you want to go to Arby's? It's like, nah, man, I already ate.
no, I'm good.
Okay, great. Yeah, I heard that looking to put in some new spots. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's. If you find yourself over there, just tell me. Like,
Yeah.
if you.
All right, if I pull over, you're the one like.
But I don't care.
I don't care either. I'm not living there.
Yet.
Maybe.
Yeah, a long way to go.
Well, I'd like to think so.
I'd like to
Yeah.
think so too.
Yeah.
A little ways at least.
People at work think I'm in my 30s, so.
And they're going to take off your hat one more time. Let me look at that beautiful, beautiful hat hair you have.
This hair. Oh my
It's
god.
Can you believe this bullshit?
That's so unfair, man.
This is
so
fucking
great,
ridiculous. Do you
yeah.
see that shine on it?
This is a month's worth of growth right here, man.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
So this is
You let it grow out a little bit too.
I did.
Kind of cool.
Yeah, until I saw myself in the mirror at the gas station. So,
Yeah.
and I was like, nah, it's gone.
Well,
It ain't coming back.
some of the guys I work with were born. One of them was born in 2000, and I'm just like,
Okay. Yeah.
oh. And they're just like, yeah, I remember 9/11 when I was in first grade, and I was like,
Dude, none of my students were born before or
Ah.
after 9 or before 9/11 anymore.
yeah,
Yeah, it's
just-
crazy.
Oh
It's
my
like it's
God.
2022, and so yeah, actually the math, yep.
Yeah, none of you.
None of y'all. And I mean, I was like 6 years ago. I was like, talking about my 9/11 stories. People were like, I was in preschool. I was like, oh,
I wasn't even alive.
yeah. Well, now that's what it is.
Yeah.
It's now I ain't even alive, so I didn't even talk about it anymore. So it's just one of those things. So if somebody asked me, Dad, what was 9/11 like? Then I was like, well, grab a chair. So let me tell you all about it.
We start the
So,
fireplace up, and we're
yeah,
gonna.
but it's not part of the actual lecture circuit.
Yeah. Go ahead, daughter. Go ahead and sit down for a minute. So I'm going to tell you about the, 48 hours where we really loved each other. Right. We were like,
Sloppy 48
we
hours.
really loved each other. And then at hour 49, then some people got really mad at Muslims.
Yeah. You could hear the bullhorns going off.
Yeah.
It's all of a sudden it was like back to fucking what is it, the purge.
Yeah. I don't know how you say it. So she's like, all of them? It's like, yes, all of them, honey. It's like, well, how'd you deal with it? Well, okay. We did turn hard. We did. But yeah, for a couple of hours there were a lot of people who were glass, invest in glass, turn the entire region to glass.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
My favorite one was the bumper sticker that said nuclear fusion kills anthrax.
Right, yeah. Yeah.
Because very few people remember the anthrax,
Oh,
scare
anthrax scare.
afterwards.
Oh yeah. They
Was
turned
it after?
It was the same day. So, and then a couple days afterwards.
I
But
thought the anthrax scare was before.
No, it was actually after.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it was
I thought
after.
it was when. I thought it was in like late '90s.
there have been a couple, but like
Where
after
they sent it
9/11,
to
there
the-
were two things that were going on. Like one of them was actually during the day where they said that they found some at like the Postmaster General's something. Or no, it was the State Department. They thought they found it at the State Department. And it turned out to be nothing.
Yeah.
And then a few weeks later, yeah, people started getting envelopes of this shit in Congress. So, yeah.
I didn't realize it was the same time. I thought that was before. But
Well, we had other things going on, like for a while there, like the scariest terrorism wasn't even here, was the sarin gas attacks in Japan. And
Oh, I remember those.
that was
The
huge.
subway attacks.
Yeah.
Yeah, those were scary, man.
And then when is Ted Kaczynski? When is his?
I was
he's-
just gonna
he's
ask, when
early.
was Unabomber?
He's way
I
earlier.
thought so.
Yeah, he's here early 90s. So,
Okay, and then so Oklahoma City was
96.
96.
Yeah.
Okay,
95, 96, somewhere around there.
it's crazy.
Yeah.
'96 was the Atlanta Olympics, so it had to be before.
They were damn close.
Oh, okay.
They were damn close.
The Richard Jewell incident.
Richard Jewell, yeah. The guy who didn't do it.
Yeah, we know that now.
Yeah, we know that now, but back then
Yeah.
everybody's oh, this is a fucking loser piece of shit trying to get attention. So,
I'm not gonna pretend I didn't get that impression from him, and I think
everybody got that impression.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You know what? And that should really learn me a thing or two about. He looks like he has like the dumb guy laugh.
Dude, he was Paul Blart before Paul Blart was a thing.
yeah.
So
He was really just trying to help people.
he really was, yeah.
Like-
It's like I found this thing. It was like, how did you find this thing? Doing my job.
That should be enough, right?
Right, yeah. It's like, all right, man. Good for you. So
We do have a security guard that
I-
walks our parking garage,
yeah.
and he literally looks like, I mean, his gut was hanging out.
Oh,
like
God.
I was just like, did you guys deliberately
Dude,
go after the stereotypical
It's a
security
crowd,
guard?
man. Like the coffee place, the Dutch brothers that Pat and I go to, their security
there's-
guard
yeah.
is just, he's got that.
That guy's gonna shoot you though if you try and really remember.
He is. Yeah,
Otherwise you're gonna get away.
he knows on his tech specs that, speed's like a 1 or 2. So I don't know, like intelligence 3 or 4, I have no idea. Strength, I give him
Hey man, as long as his dex is good. So,
I don't know if it is.
I don't know either. I'm not gonna test it though, because he is armed. So
Well, and I'm not.
right.
And,
yeah.
and well, and the whole point, we didn't come there to shoot anybody.
no, we
also-
came there for coffee.
Right.
Wait, what? That's what a coffee store is
That's what
for?
our coffee store's for. So
Yeah, but there is something to that big security guy.
Oh man, I was just like,
dude,
dude,
at the airport everybody was like that. Everybody in security.
Yeah, but hold on. The cops there, weren't they all dudes that had like taken a bullet?
Yeah, so the cops are pretty porky too. Okay, so but yeah, that the airport was a retirement farm. If you took a
Yeah.
bullet and you didn't want to quit the force, so they give you a really
was like
easy
duty,
job.
yeah.
And so like virtually everybody who was a cop at the airport had been shot.
Yeah.
oh
yeah.
wow.
Yeah. So now that was a long time ago. I'm sure it's changed because that was way before 9/11 and everything got serial.
Yeah, that's true. Because it's funny because it wasn't. Didn't the lead guy, wasn't he actually like super Irish too?
No, he was black
No, the cop.
at the airport. Yeah, he was black.
Was
the
he
old
black
the
Irish?
white guy with the white mustache.
That wasn't the guy in charge.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
I know who you're talking about, but no.
Oh, okay.
The guy who was in charge was black.
Okay. There was one there that actually he went by like a super Irish name.
Smitty. Yeah, I
Right.
remember him.
Okay,
So,
gotcha.
yeah.
That's what I was picturing. So I mean, if you're going back to
He was not in charge.
well, no, but like 1950s, like New York, and you're swinging the baton around and say like, "Oh, you're keeping your nose clean."
He was the guy who draws gun on you all the time. So,
It didn't happen to me.
oh, okay. He was kind of funny about it too. He's like, he'd pull his holster out and he'd pull his gun. He's like, well, I'm gonna have to shoot you.
Yeah, these are the old days.
That was the old days. Yeah. He was like, I didn't want to do paperwork today, but I'm gonna have to shoot you.
Man, people born in like 2000 have no idea what life was like.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's not to say that, again, we've talked about it. We've talked about the days where, yep, at Doherty High School, those were ashtrays. You know, there's a certain, none of us know, but there's a, like, in the world of, like, camera phones and police and all that other stuff, there's no version where you joke about, I didn't want to have to do paperwork today, but...
No, you don't joke. In fact, our police department got in trouble for that like a month ago.
Do they?
So...
Somebody do that shit?
Well, yeah, kind of. I mean, I don't know if we talked about it on the podcast, but like one of the cops got in trouble for making a remark over the radio about the BLM the 10 BLM protesters that were there last year. So
what did he say? You know, I think you told me about this, but what did he say?
I can't, it was something really innocuous, so I don't remember. It was like better call for the body bags or something like that. You know, I mean, it's obviously a bad, dumb cop joke, but you don't say that on a fucking open mic. So,
you know,
come on, bro. You know you're being monitored.
Well, now.
What? You talking?
Wild.
Dude, everybody's, like, police scanners are not uncommon.
Oh,
So,
you know, you're right. You're right, yeah.
Yeah.
But,
you know who definitely has a police scanner is the fucking news. You know? So, the police probably gave it to him.
That's a good point. What did he say?
What did he say? So, yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I can see that later on. What I meant was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it was actually, it's funny you were talking about radios. That was one of the things that YouTube decided that, I don't know, you are probably aware of this trend, and you have probably been force-fed this one way or another, right? But YouTube has now decided that my thing is, I want to watch the real versions of people talking about what the people in movies are playing them as.
Wait a minute, what?
So, like, it would be like, a real cop talks about
yeah,
Sicario, Day of the Soledad, or whatever, or whatever, right?
I've seen a bunch of those that are dumb. So
Yes,
yeah,
and so
real Navy admiral talks about alien battleships, and it's like, what?
and the problem is you've probably like watched a few minutes too, and they jump in and they say like, well. Here's the thing, like, before the battleship even hit the water, you'd be opening fire on it with a Mark 17C, and that thing...
Right, yeah.
Guys, the velocity on this is not close to enough, right? You know, it's the same thing, and the one thing... Oh, yeah.
Have you seen the doctor ones?
Those are stupid.
They're so bad.
Where they're talking about medical shows.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There's a lawyer one, too, where he's like, you know, critiquing Better Call Saul.
Oh.
And it's like...
I've seen that.
Yeah.
That I think is actually kind of fun.
Really? Oh.
Depends on the lawyer.
Yeah, the lawyer that I saw that was critiquing it, like lawyers in movies and TV shows kind of things, was not a good lawyer. So...
Well, because, all right, the dude that I was watching do that with the law shows, at least to his credit, right, he was funny about it. He'd stop you to like, you can't do that. I'd love to see somebody try that, right?
Yeah.
And the closest thing I ever saw was this, but that got thrown out.
Yeah.
Right, which is kind of funny. But the one guy did say this, because we were talking about, like, scanners, is... So a couple, like, Navy guys, Navy and Air Force guys were talking about Top Gun 2, right? Which, for the most part, was like, you know, there were things where, like, this is goofy. This is, like, this plane can't do this, whatever, right?
Yeah.
But the one thing they pointed out that I never thought of in those movies is he said, so this, one thing we have to point out, and yes, this is a movie thing, so you can't do without it, is you don't actually talk on the radio when you're doing this.
Yeah.
And I was like, why? It seems like that's how it makes sense. It's not just that. It's also, they find you that way.
Well, yeah. So I guess I did see one where the guy was actually talking about, well, he's in this kind of curve and it's impossible to get words out of him.
The part where he's like, well, see, here's the other issue is he loses him in the sun here, right? But the guy behind him actually has the tinted visor. And the Americans would have the tinted visors too, but they're using the clear ones so you can see the Americans' eyes. Neither of these guys would have been lost in the sun.
Right. Yeah.
He's like, and the radar also doesn't lose you in the sun.
Nor would we be this close. You know?
But again, the response afterwards, like, well, this is a cool shot though. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that I like, but there is just a gang of like douchebags that have that job. It's like, this is a violation of like, moving blood for number 9. It's been illegal since 1977 with this case.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous. They should be ashamed of the way they're. These guys ever been to any law school?
Well, the answer is no, because they write movies, but yeah. Yeah, no, I've seen a couple of those. There's like a couple of them that are like Real Soldier, Real Navy SEAL, and it's got Jocko Willink on it, of all things.
Jocko Willink?
You'd recognize him.
The actor?
No,
Or
he's a podcaster. He was a former Navy SEAL. So
Okay.
And so, like, unfortunately, part of my YouTube feed has bled into that part of YouTube.
Uh-huh.
Where, yeah, it's full of, like, I don't know, Navy SEAL bullshit.
Well, why do you call it that? Why do you call it... So why do you look at it? What is it that you enjoy about the Navy SEAL bullshit?
I don't. So it's just...
You clicked on it.
I must have clicked on it at one point in time or another, but it still gets filtered in there, and I think it has to do with the fact that I listen to Joe Rogan. I think it has to do with the fact that I listen to his buddy Lex Friedman, and they all have these dudes on their podcasts.
Okay.
And so they start showing up on that thing. And I just, I can only take about 5 minutes of it because they start getting into that whole thing where, it's like the fucking Praetorian class, and I can't stand that shit, man. It's like, well, I'm a warrior, so I'm way better than all of you, kind of thing. It's like, fuck off, man. So give me my paycheck back then.
All right.
So, yeah. It's like, you got to do way cool fucking things and got paid for it, So
They're also miserable.
Huh?
They also have to do miserable things.
That's fine. You sign up for it. They don't make you do it. This isn't Vietnam where they pull you, William, off the street and say, guess what you get to do, buddy? So it was like, Air Force? Nah, Marine Corps for you, buddy. That's why my dad joined the Air Force.
Because he didn't want to be a Marine.
Because he had a really low draft number. So, yeah. That's what happens when you're born in New York.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Yeah, my dad was very clear about that. He's just like, he was friends with like seniors and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them didn't come back.
Yeah, my dad too.
Yeah, so...
My dad graduated when he was
Air Force it
16.
was.
And so 2 of his classmates who had gone all the way through middle school, or I guess whatever it was called back then.
That's put away. So for them...
I think it was prep. So
Okay, so they still would have gone to grammar school, is what they would have called it in primary.
Yeah, it was
grade
definitely grammar school.
It was grammar school, and then it goes on to... I think they might have actually called it junior high back then.
You
Still.
might have. I don't know.
They for sure called it high school. That hasn't changed.
Yeah. It might have been junior high. Yeah.
I can't...
But you're right. The elementary school is called grammar school.
100% grammar
Yeah.
school.
Did they
And
ever bring
someplace
it
that
up
still
in
is.
Back to the Future? Or they were all in high school at that point, huh?
You were in high school.
Did he have a younger...
No, the only young kids in Back to the Future were... they would have been...
way young?
Well, they were way young because they were the siblings of Marty's mother, Lorraine. But they didn't talk about school at all. I mean, it's funny, I should know this because seeing so I've read Stephen King books, and he still writes characters like they're dead set. Like, the book is set in 2022, but he writes them like it's 1951
Yeah, exactly.
in Maine.
They're always in Maine.
Which I get, like, write
Yeah.
what you know, except for the one, that has Colorado in it, because he was here at the time.
Oh, yeah. That was The Shining, right?
The Stand.
Oh, The Stand. That's right. That's right. Boulder was the place of the good people, which was weird.
The Stand, and yeah, he did stay at the Stanley for a while, and I think that's where he
did.
wrote The Shine, or at least got the idea. for it.
Yeah,
He
it's
was
like
there.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That dude's a fucking lunatic now.
Who? Stephen King?
Yeah.
What's happened to him? I don't know.
Oh, he's just a bitch old man that's addicted to Twitter.
He's on Twitter too. Oh no.
Yeah, he and there are two dudes where you're like, you are too old to be sitting there fighting this fight. Is he and
Who's the other one?
fucking George Takei will not shut the fuck up. Man, and these guys are just the biggest bitches about everything, about fucking like towing that, sorry to borrow the drinkers, like the message, right? Those guys are the biggest proponents of fucking moaning and complaining.
I don't know, man. There was someone who got under my skin this week. Who the fuck was it?
Who got you?
I can't remember who it was.
On YouTube?
Yeah, it was on Twitter. And then it showed up on YouTube. See, it has to be bad enough to bleed over to my YouTube. Because I can't get into Twitter anymore. So...
Do you have a Twitter
I
account?
do have a Twitter account.
Wow.
So I have not been on it in ages. But
Frankly, the funniest one all week was Alyssa Milano. She got
that's what it was. Yeah, about yeah.
no, it wasn't about China.
Oh,
About getting a different car, BMW or something?
No, it was a Volkswagen.
Volkswagen, that's right.
And she said,
Electric Volkswagen.
yeah, she said, I returned my Tesla because I don't want, she's like, I returned my Tesla and bought a VW because I don't want to have a car that was created by like a fascist. Post number 2 was, what, Pat?
I don't know.
Well, who created?
Who created Volkswagens?
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, so he was very proud of the fact that the engine was in the back.
Yeah, so I guess for you,
Oh
I mean,
god damn, that's funny.
you couldn't set that up on a T even.
No,
It was like,
no. Oh no, man. That's like the box with the, like the sign that says free cat food. Yeah.
Yeah, you're a fair barometer of that because like Twitter, you don't pay attention to Twitter unless it actually escapes Twitter.
It has to get out of Twitter, and it has to hit either one of the podcasts I listen to or one of the news shows that I watch. And so...
Now, how do you get your ears on this?
That was on the Fox.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
that would definitely hit Fox.
Okay.
Yeah. I think they
Yeah.
even had a picture of Hitler like looking at like the first beetle. Like,
Yeah.
And he's just like, oh!
It's a famous picture, yeah. So... Yeah, no, she said something about China and their lockdowns this week, where it's like, well, it was something that was pushing back on that. I can't remember what it was, but it was just like...
He'd be pro-lockdown?
She was very pro-lockdown.
Back in
She
the-
was
oh, yeah,
like
she was-
supporting
yeah.
Xi Jinping, and it was like, right, yeah, exactly, yeah. It was kind of
It's cool for them, but you would hate this if this was your...
he was one of the ones that was advocating very much that we need to weld Americans in our houses.
Yeah.
Look, man.
Okay, we can start with her. And then
Yeah,
just
you
stop.
Well, dude,
Try it out.
again, it's not a problem for Alyssa Milano to be locked in her house because it's like,
I got
I
everything.
don't need to go to the gym to go swimming.
Well, just don't let any of your staff in there with her. It's
Yeah, whatever. It's the same type of people where it's like, well, it's not that I want to go out. It's just that, food. It's just that, I need to go to work.
right, yeah,
Right.
exactly. I need to get out because the place is on fire. So
Fuck, man. I did catch up with the China show people, and Jesus Christ.
Oh yeah, we'll probably have more to talk about on Friday. So
The white paper revolution, they're calling it.
that's pretty fucking
That is,
clever.
that is really...
That
Why
is
is
clever.
it called that?
Well, because he's just holding up a single sheet of paper. So
With
that's
nothing
white,
on
with
it.
nothing on it, saying I'm
'Cause-
not allowed to say anything.
Yeah.
So I'm going to hold this up. It's fucking brilliant if
It
you
is
think about it.
really
Yeah.
good.
So the A4 revolution is what I've heard called already, because it's a blank A4 sheet. So
I get it.
yeah, no, I thought
good.
it was pretty clever.
No, it's so simple. It's deceptively simple. It's
Yeah.
It's brilliant. I don't know who came up with it first, but I was just like, wow, dude, you guys really thought outside the box there.
They're pretty good. Yeah. They're
well,
pretty pissed.
and this is where like the hypocrisy kicks in. So fucking Apple took it in the nuts. I don't know how they're getting a free pass in the media for this bullshit.
What did they do?
Jumped off Twitter and are backing TikTok.
No, it's not
With
that.
advertising.
No.
Not that?
That shit got sorted out. Yeah,
Okay.
fucking like 6 hours ago, fucking Musk actually went to Apple HQ and they hammered that out.
Oh, really?
No, the thing is, in one country, okay, in one country alone, Apple dropped at the request of their government all of their cloud services, so that all of the information being taken on Apple phones can't be clouded out of there.
Wait, I don't understand. Help me through that.
So, you know how there's Apple Cloud services, the AirDrop services, right? Everything like that.
Okay.
You take videos of the Chinese police kicking the crap out of you.
Okay.
In China and China alone, they totally disabled that service.
Yeah.
So you cannot use that to get information out
Yeah.
at the behest of the Chinese government.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
In the same week that they were fucking mouthing off about like, well, you know, it's important to be, you know, to, disseminate good information from bad.
Yeah. I don't know. They got... It'll all get sorted out eventually, I think, but it's insane how back and forth they can go with what should be censored. Oh, this is for the public good. This is this. And it's just like, yeah, but 5 minutes ago you said that was
Oh, yeah.
misinformation.
This is Apple doing
Well,
This is
all
you're talking
the-
about big tech. It's
Yeah.
basically-
Oh, okay, yeah,
And
yeah.
you're absolutely
and
right.
they're trying to make laws, and they're like asking about Twitter, and they're like, well, we definitely, gotta watch that for misinformation. And
the
this
fucking
and all
government
this.
was talking about
Yeah,
like we need.
that's what I mean. I'm like,
So
you
6
sure
weeks ago,
were,
it wasn't a problem.
It's just like, come on, guys, you can't even keep your story straight. You're not even trying.
I don't think they're all on the same page
It's
with
just
that.
so bad.
So-
Do you want to walk through the history of what was information about COVID? Remember what the experts were saying?
Yeah, I remember a lot of that.
You remember how a shit ton of accounts got banned and are now getting unbanned because they're like, oh, I don't know about this, right? Banned.
Just for voicing, like, I'm just not sure. Yeah, you can't say.
Which one of them was the worst? Was it Twitter? Which
Uh,
was like the most like lean into it the hardest? Was it Twitter?
think
I would say
Facebook.
Well, I would say Twitter, but you say Facebook was worse. I wasn't fucking around there, so
Well,
I'm
I
not on
think
Facebook, so-
I think Facebook made the most noise. Like Twitter, they banned so many people for everything. Facebook was just like, it seemed like more directed censorship.
okay.
At least Twitter just looked like ban. I don't care. We'll just ban it.
The difference was Twitter's attitude was, we're banning you and we're proud of it.
Yeah,
Right, that was the attitude, right? Whereas the fucking Gestapo on like Reddit, they don't even right. That's, and they
I
don't.
don't think
That's,
they count.
they are who they are, right?
Yeah.
They're just like. So we have two ways to control this. So number one, you're gonna say what we want you to say. Number two, if it's some bullshit and the people don't like it, they're gonna downvote you. And if they downvote you like 5 times or more, your content gets hidden. And if we see a bunch of like hidden messages, we're going to clean you out, right? We're going to make it so your messages never
Is
happen.
Reddit centrally controlled? I thought each board had its own administrator.
Yes, it does. And these
I don't know how it works. So.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Reddit is basically like you have to understand that these are brown shirts. These are straight up people. No, man, like these are people that they're not getting paid, right? They're not under anyone's employ.
They're toadies.
They are toadies, and the whole thing is because they have no actual juice, right? being a mod on a subreddit becomes their life. It becomes their value.
Well, that's what happens on Discord too. So
Well,
Discord's a piece of shit, man.
Oh my god. So if you want to, like, if you're gonna say, Jeff, do you want to catch a pedophile today? No problem.
No problem.
Go ahead and load up Discord. Go into any.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
You are going to find like that. People are afraid of groomers. That's all Discord is. You like, this is where people are handing out like the bathtub hormone replacement therapy shit. This is. You think I'm kidding?
No, I know you're not kidding. So
You think I'm kidding?
Well,
This is.
I'm on Discord, so I don't know all the.
well, not,
Right.
I'm
well,
on
not
a
every
small-
Discord is Discord.
Yeah, I have a
you know,
small
so
groups that I'm
But your work
not-
Discord is also like, you know how that works.
Well, yeah,
right?
it's just a bulletin board for your work. So Jeff's talking about the public Discords where you can get in there with just like pinging the server, so and getting an invite.
Well, people are looking to recruit you. They're looking to get
Yeah,
you.
exactly.
And this is, it's how you get in from like basically the Discords to the other Discords, because you start on like Civilization 6, and then there is a subgroup of well, this is the LGBT plus part of Civ 6. Oh, okay,
GPT,
great.
what?
These are, you go into the sub Discord, right, of the people who are like, well, we're the LGBT community
okay.
of Civ 6.
Yeah,
They're
okay.
like, oh, you know what, that makes sense. I'm happy to be part of that, right?
Yeah.
And then most of those people are normal. Then there's a third group in there that says, yeah, but we're this group of that.
Yeah.
Like, interesting, right? You go down that rabbit hole. And there's so much of the ugly iceberg of Discord that makes you just want to torch the whole fucking place.
Yeah, the whole thing just looks like fucking emojis flashing on your screen and
it's
shit.
gross.
It's disgusting.
I've never had the urge to just start
I've been involved
getting
in two
swept up
Discords.
in like the conversation and just watching it tumble into.
They are shit shows
Chaos.
so quickly, man. So
When you went into like the most innocent place and watched it turn into
train guys are not fucking innocent. Because, yeah, they break into those groups like that. I saw one melt down before my very eyes, and it's exactly how Jeff described it. So it's like, well, we're all on board with this game, and so this is a general discussion. If you have questions about the game, post them here. But then we had like off-topic discussions,
Yeah.
and then that one actually started breaking into different groups, and some of the mods got involved in that one, and it just turned into a big old fist fight over like what fucking kind of train we're gonna put in here next, which eventually like turned into this like you're fucking gay, So,
Oh,
and it just turned into an absolute shit show. And I gotta. This is controversial, but I gotta tell you, on this one in particular, that if you are in a Discord and there are a bunch of international people in there, you should kick them the fuck out. So they're just
explain.
like.
They're just looking to stir it up.
Yeah, almost. They just come in there and they start fighting with Americans for the sake of
Oh,
and it's just, well, it's like this doesn't even, you live in New Zealand, man. What the fuck? So what's your problem?
I've never seen people more argumentative about American politics than people not from America.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
And so, man, they just start. I mean, you need to be put on probation, for a bit if you apply. It's like you get a Discord visa.
No,
You can hold a normal conversation.
Yeah, exactly. You behave yourself for 6 months.
You said it first. They're probies. You call them probies.
Yeah, you need to be probies.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know, man. Like, so not just in my classes, but also on my other YouTube channel, I got a lot of people who are international. They're great. Okay, but I've never had a problem with any of them ever. But there's something about Discord, and if you start bringing politics into it, holy fucking shit, do they get gnarly
It's a nightmare.
quickly? Yeah, it's a nightmare.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I mean,
it's like I want to talk about Australian politics. I don't know shit about it. So
well, I mean, look, it's the same thing. Like, so again, I see this on Twitter. There's a lot of fucking Americans that like to talk about Brexit, that like to talk about, like, well, first and foremost, I would ask, do you have any idea how their parliament works?
yeah, exactly.
It's fucking bizarre.
It is, but it's also a little cleaner than Congress, man. You know,
It
it's
is
weird.
It is, but there's a part of it like. So
It's just different.
well, it's different, but when you come down to it, you say like, so what are the rules, right? And
This is Queensbury.
that's the thing is when you get down to like, so how does Parliament work? It's like, well, it's monopoly, but with all the house rules.
Yeah.
It's like, so money and free parking, double money and free parking.
Yeah. If labor's in power.
It's like, so what happens if you roll double sixes? Like election.
Election.
It's like, is that based on yours? It's like, no, you roll double sixes.
Yep. So I've done it that way.
This is what we call, like in this house, we call this a rat race. You roll double sixes, you put $500 on the spot. Whoever gets there first wins the rat race.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
and this is your parliament. Look, we all get it.
Yeah, it works.
You're weird.
You're weird. So, yeah. So you have two houses in your legislature. Both of them can do shit. So, you know.
And then, yeah. And
Here,
then,
this is the adult table. That's the kid table over there. Whatever happens over there, we don't care. So
and
they get the nice furniture, you know.
the same thing. You go to Canada and you watch the arguments there. It's
Oh, it's weird.
because they're arguing to the speaker.
Yeah.
It's so bizarre.
So weird.
Right? And you go out there and you watch the Liberal Party, you watch the Conservative Party, and they turn towards the speaker, who's like laughing the whole time.
Yeah.
Right? He's just taking this all in stride. And so he's like, we'd like to point out that we put way more apples in students' lunches. We put a whole lot of like trucks on the road, and those guys on the other side of the aisle, homos, every last one. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
And then, then it flips over to the other side, and it's like the honorable, blah, blah, blah from here would like to, say it's like, no, you guys are the homos.
I know, you are all Nazis.
Now, obviously, this clip would have made the YouTube if that's how it broke down. But it's a weird thing. It's like, why are you addressing him? Like, is he going to listen to you guys and say, like, all right, well, I've heard both sides. I'm going to make some changes. It's like, no, that's not how it works.
Does he have power?
He's just he facilitates.
Yeah, he's a facilitator.
He's basically the guy who's facilitating the arguments against each other so that they don't argue directly.
But in the British Parliament, they shout at each other. So
I fucking
it's great, man.
there's footage of them like getting into actual fights.
Well, yeah, and then like that's because the benches literally face each other, and then you have the speaker who's always like order in the back, and that's all he says, man. And then you watch ours, like you see the State of the Union here, and it's like dumb. It's like, well, we're gonna stand every 15 seconds and clap, and things like that. You turn on C-SPAN every now and then. And it's like, this is a pretty good speech, but then you realize that nobody's there, kind of thing. So.
Well, you're right. And on top of that, the way they break down the clap, not clap dynamic is like people are talking about a super duper eccentric game of golf with like double weird rules. Right. So like they'll go around the thing and like somebody like the president will say something, right?
Yeah.
And the question is whether or not that's actually an idea that both sides agree on, or whether it's like, but did he really mean it? So you go to the speaker and she's not clapping.
Not clap, so don't clap. Yeah.
Right? And sometimes she'll give
She's
like
not speaker anymore.
No, she's out.
She's out.
Yeah,
man.
she's done.
So, yeah.
That fucking pickled hag out of our goddamn Congress.
I don't think she's leaving Congress, but
I think she's got. I think that she's getting set up for like an ambassadorship.
also she will leave.
Yeah.
She's gonna go to England.
No,
that's usually that's the crown jewel for most people.
Yeah, she doesn't deserve it. I think it's.
Well, it's a job where you don't do shit.
No. If life's fair, she'll go to the like most malaria part of Africa. I don't know.
Probably immune to it. Mosquitoes jump on her, man. Like, holy shit.
There's no blood in here.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's true, yeah. That's a good point. Fucking Space Marine shot her and her blood actually like melts the floor. I'm sorry. I don't hate. Actually, I do. I guess I really do hate her.
I don't really hate her,
piece of
man.
shit.
I'm just glad she's gone. So
She just represents the worst part of Congress as far as I'm concerned. Like,
yeah.
And she's the face of it.
Yeah.
Self-serving fucking, but doing so at the absolute expense of like watch me kneel in front of black people.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it'll be better now that she's gone.
God.
Yeah. We'll see how Kevin McCarthy does, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it won't really fucking
Yeah.
matter because the legislature's split.
It's a blockade. Yeah.
It's a
Which is, I
blockade.
think it's how it's supposed to work.
It's like reset to default. So yeah, it's like 350 on your oven, you know. So you can cook everything in there. You just cook it more or less, you know. So
This is the fucking Congress boot disc.
it is. Yeah, this is the blank config.sys. Yeah.
How did we fuck it up? Like, did we? What did we do? Did we mess with the jumpers? Did we screw with the IRQ ports?
Yeah, that IRQ. So, game won't fucking load, man. So I just paid $60 for this, and it's not working.
Yeah, you get just a little bit salty, like the people like the next day. So how's Aces over the Pacific? I don't know.
No. I was up all night last night, changing jumpers, man. Yeah. So
I did get to tell everyone about actual floppy disks.
oh, the little save
Weird.
icon.
Yeah.
So you don't
Well-
realize what the save icon actually is.
Well, no, like that you had to have, if you're going to play a game, you'd have to switch out
Yeah.
floppy disks and
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff.
5 1/4.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
floppy
the
ones.
black ones, yeah.
Ones that you can spin with your finger. Yeah. So
I mean, I do absolutely appreciate that because I can't even imagine the first guy that was like, we have been doing manual tape to tape reels
yeah.
for our data, and you know, to be fair, those things actually do hold a shit ton
They
of
do.
data, like crazy amounts of data, even to this day.
We had a tape deck for my original Commodore 64.
Yeah,
There were a couple games that
Yeah.
you played off tape.
Mhm.
Yeah. So they weren't very good. So, and then did that thing also have a cartridge?
yeah,
Yeah, it did. It did
cartridge
have a
slot.
cartridge
Yep.
in it too.
Mhm.
That's true.
Mhm.
Actually, you know what? I think the tape deck, Dad used that to save like documents too,
Yeah.
because it was a writable one.
Oh,
Yeah.
we had one too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we had that for the TI 499A.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. See, yeah, they would have no idea.
No.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So there's people right now saying like, so Texas Instruments product Google, you know, and
Is it?
no,
Oh, okay.
I was
no,
like,
and I
when
don't
did
know.
this happen?
I don't know who Commodore got swept up by, but they did. I think their last death throes is they did get picked up by somebody.
They did. I don't know who.
It'd be somebody British, but
Oh, maybe. So.
no, Commodore was European. They were.
No,
British.
I know that.
Yeah, so-
Yeah. No, I know it was a British computer. That's why it was like a block. You know? So-
Dude, evidently we're lucky that we didn't have to deal with things like the ZX Spectrum
I don't know
and
anything about that.
oh god,
I've never even heard of that.
you know it's fine. There's a like a fandom out there.
Is that like a system? A gaming system?
Well, back in the day, right? PCs still had their own like unique architecture,
Right.
right? It wasn't until later on that basically like IBM and Tandy and all that other stuff started being actually compatible, right? But for a long time, Commodore wouldn't work with
Yeah.
the MSX. It wouldn't work with, you know, they were just all separate, right? And so yeah, there are guys out there who was like, oh, the ZX Spectrum is awesome. Yeah, it worked in like 4 fucking colors, right? Everything was slow. It sucked.
ZX, it must have come from England.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be the ZX Spectrum. Though.
Right, exactly. Actually, we'd probably call it something different entirely. So,
Actually, yeah, we would.
Yeah.
We tried to name it something more fun.
like Cobalt. Yeah.
That's true. Like who made your computer like Black and Decker?
Black and Decker. Yeah. I got a Craftsman computer.
Oh my god. That's right, because that means it comes from Sears.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh
yeah.
shit, man! Like that's I forget. These were the days where, the Magnavox Odyssey was a system made specifically for retail in Montgomery wards alone.
Yeah. Well, most of the big stores had their own store brands, didn't they?
I would think so.
Yeah, there were a couple that were specific to specific stores, not just like Craftsman, but like, oh, was it Kenwood that was actually limited to Sears, if I'm not mistaken? They had two lines. It was like Kenwood and Kenmore. So
Kenmore was for sure.
Definitely. Yeah. So,
but Kenwood, that's the speaker company, the electronic company,
yeah,
right?
they made receivers and speakers.
You got me. Montgomery Wards is the one I know for sure, and of course those like Sears.
Well, they had their own. Magnavox was theirs.
That's what I said. No, Montgomery Wards. That was Magnavox,
that was Wards.
Why do you know this?
Well, a friend of mine, his dad worked for Montgomery Wards.
Yeah, but how long has it been since there's been a Montgomery Ward?
30 years, easily.
If you're asking a philosophical question, William, of why I remember the things that I remember,
kept that.
I went to the Monty Wards.
Well,
That's
you
where my
get
COVID shot. Yeah,
oh, did you?
that's where I got it. Yeah. So.
That's where we used to watch the balloon glow, and
Oh yeah, I remember that.
yeah, and we'd watch the fireworks from there sometimes. That parking lot.
Wasn't that where Grandma worked?
Grandma worked for. Was it Reich's?
Oh, I don't know that.
I thought.
Well, this is an Ohio department store.
Oh, okay.
It was, yeah, I think it was Reich's.
Oh.
Wasn't that where Drew Carey worked?
Like R-E-I-C-H?
I don't know.
No, okay.
In his
That makes
show,
sense.
yeah.
He was in Ohio.
Well, and we worked in a
Cleveland?
department store. Yeah.
Oh, well, he didn't work in a department store. He worked in an office.
Oh, I thought that was a department store.
Hmm.
Oh.
No, he worked in like an office.
Yeah, but I thought he was like the HR director for a department store.
Oh, he was not an HR director.
Yeah, he was. He
Drew
was
Carey?
Yeah, he was the HR dude, man. So. Yeah.
I didn't watch the show.
So-
Oh yeah,
I saw
I
it
love
just
that
bits
show.
and pieces.
What was Mimi's job?
The secretary? Or...
She was the secretary to the English guy. So, who was the boss?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know he was the boss. That's why I was thinking like
Craig Ferguson.
he was the like. Okay, no, that's
I don't know.
I'll take
It's
the word.
been a long
I don't
time,
know.
man.
Jesus
So,
Christ.
yeah. So
And to be fair, I think that he actually did change his job.
I think you're right.
So I may be mixing some things up here, but you know what? I think kind of thinking I'm almost certain because I remember that it's kind of like when we talked about Roseanne the other day was, when she started at Wellman Plastics and then went to the diner and then went to she started her own loose meat sandwich shop.
Yeah, see, you watched that show way more than I did because I don't know any of that stuff. I remember the beginning, but I did watch Drew Carey from the beginning. So, and you're right, he did eventually get promoted. So, but he was in HR because he'd do all the hiring because he'd have those little bits where he had to hire people and interview them and shit.
You know what? And I guarantee you that was one of those things where like we thought this was going to play out a lot funnier and we could milk it forever.
Nah, it didn't work.
Yeah, because I remember eventually he ended up they ended up developing their own special coffee and beer thing called Buzz Beer.
Yeah, that was later.
And I think they just ended up just splitting off from that and doing that full time.
Yeah, because they were selling it to like bowling alleys and shit.
Yeah,
So, yeah. So I remember that. But yeah, and then it was Craig Ferguson who was
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
I did remember that correctly.
But
So-
you know what? Actually, he had a different boss at the very beginning.
He did. Yeah.
Some big dumb white guy, if I recall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Craig Ferguson was there for a long time too though.
He
So
was.
I don't think that first guy lasted more than a season or something.
No, I think that was I think there was probably some pretty big retooling after like the first season.
Yeah.
Because I think I'm remembering like there's like a middle section where the office changes, right? Like the whole design of it changes and everything too. Kind of like even on this, like if you go watch the first season of even just the Cosby Show, the house looks different.
yeah.
Like everything is weird. Yeah. So a lot of shows in their first season. I think you're dead on because I remember the. Okay. The Drew Carey Show, the first season, okay, almost all of that was done with some sort of kind of structure to Dilbert, right?
Yeah.
Deliberately.
Yeah.
And their boss had kind of that old guy sort of look with he was old, he had.
Yeah, he was chubby. Yeah.
Uh-huh. And it was seasons 2 on were this has got to be its own show, man. It's
Yeah. Yeah, no, and then that's when they got involved with all the neighbors and, all his roommates and stuff and all that. Yeah, that's right. Because in the beginning they were just kind of there, but then after a while, who was it? Ryan Stiles was in that show?
Yeah.
Yeah, he kind of ran away with him and Dietrich Bader, so if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
So, who you've never seen in anything except for that and fucking Office Space.
Yeah.
That's not true.
Oh, yeah? What else?
He's in Napoleon Dynamite.
Oh, that's right, he is.
He's Rex Kwon Do.
Yeah, I know, man. I know. Yes.
Actually, that dude, if you went to his IMDb page right now, you'd probably see it's a mile fucking long, but
Yeah,
it's
probably.
not.
Little random parts here and there.
He also, I mean,
It's probably fucking sci-fi movies.
he's done a ton of voiceover work. Too.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I have seen him pop
ton of
up on quite a
voiceover
few
work.
cartoons. So,
No,
yeah.
he does have that voice. So
Yeah.
Well, he can change it too. So,
yeah, but they don't usually ask him to.
no, probably.
It's
yeah.
well, we called you because
Right.
because what? Because you want me to play
Yeah.
Othello?
You got me thinking of old school sets here. Let me finish up with a question for you
Okay.
on this one. Out of all those 80s and maybe early 90s sitcoms, who had the coolest house? All the different sets. Because some of them were dumb, some of them were convincing, and some of them were kind of cool. So, the Married with Children one we were talking about last week.
The total anachronism and
Right.
fucking contradiction that it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and I'm thinking Full House, where it had the ridiculous
Yeah.
staircase that went all the way up and down. So in the back, it was just obviously a prop set kind of thing, so that they could, stage people.
Well, you do remember, okay? So that's the set. What was the house they showed?
It's one of those fucking row houses in San Francisco that cost $8 million.
Okay, so
And there's only 10 of them, so you have to wait for somebody to die in order to get one. Yeah.
remember that
But they had a yard and everything.
they did.
They had a
They
backyard.
had
They
a
had a
good
backyard.
sized backyard.
And remember, it seemed like the only way they could afford to pay for this place. Remember, he had 2 male nannies for his children, right?
Well, he was the news anchor.
Well, both he and they wasn't news anchors. They were both hosts of Good Morning San Francisco.
Oh, that's right. Yep, you're right.
And I don't think Aunt Becky lived there at the beginning.
No, that
No.
was way later.
So I presume that God, they had a full size, completely finished, as big as my house basement.
Yeah, I remember.
In that row
the
house
Joey
in San
basement.
Francisco.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A Joey-sized basement.
They had a
Who's that, Dave Coulier?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
they had a room
Cut
for
it out.
a music studio. They had
Right.
so that is one of the ones that jumps to ridiculous in terms of
Okay.
not in this house.
Well, coolest one. What one do you like the best? We'll put it that way.
They're all so similar.
Yeah, there's a lot of overlap. So
Just a house that
okay, so if you're gonna make me turn to this and say in terms of best value, right? Okay.
Which one would you buy?
Well, if I could get
Bel Air.
no, oh, come on,
Oh,
man.
come on.
Yeah, no.
I forgot about that.
If you could get your hands on, the apartment from Friends that they
Oh.
were getting for the price they were getting it,
That-
you would
yeah.
take that a million times over.
That was humongous. Yeah. Yeah, no, that's a good one. Yeah.
I mean, it's obviously not the best designed, and they'd sit there. I loved how the joke was oh, well, the one next door is the small apartment.
Oh, Joey's apartment?
Joey and
Yeah.
Chandler's that's the small apartment. I'm like,
It's not that small, man. It's still got 2 bedrooms in it. These guys
Yeah,
aren't in bunk beds, man.
It was a lot small, like the living
It was a lot
room,
smaller.
and
Yeah.
they also had like that balcony that they would go out
That's
to.
true. Yeah. Yeah, okay. All right. So that probably is one of the best.
I mean, so for best value, yeah. But, I mean, it's not like the Seavers lived in a bad place. It was pretty nice.
Yeah.
And that would have been, I think that was upstate New York.
I think so. That one was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was upstate New York. I mean, obviously, I'm a fan of, Earl Sinclair's house.
Okay, Barney Rubble. You know. A couple years ago, there was actually a Lego set that I wanted to get. It was the Simpsons house, and I wanted it just to take it apart because I know that it's actually got design continuity as far as a suburban family home goes. Yeah.
Have you seen the Lego sets that are like of plants right now?
No.
They're like realistic. Like it's made so that you can have like indoor plants
That are made out
that
of
are
Legos.
made out of Legos. Like they got the
Jesus.
shine on the leaves and
Oh, wow.
all this kind of stuff.
Is it expensive?
No, they were like $60 and
That's
stuff like
kind
that.
of, well,
So like you
Legos.
could get like those they're not the cactus, but they're like the cactus leaf kind of things that are just like
wow.
super like it looks like something you just put in your middle of the thing, and it's
Man, it's it has come a long way since the Lego sets I used to collect as a kid. Where it was this is the shittiest looking car.
Well, and it doesn't drive straight. Fucking Matt was always chewing.
They chew it on the wheels, man. I
but-
know, man.
Well, okay, you raised one last scary thing because it dovetails, and this is something where it would frighten me because Legos attracts such a old and young audience. I will bet you the fucking worst nightmare in the world is the Legos Discord.
Oh, I bet you that thing is policed like a motherfucker.
You think so?
Oh yeah, this company is run by Danes, so they're not going to put up with that shit. Yeah,
Like if
No.
we don't arrest for a lot. but-
yeah. Now the Roblox one, yeah, there you go. So,
oh
yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, they in Minecraft is
Fucking
probably
free,
yeah.
So it's a free for all. So yeah, they actually have a groomer section.
Why are we laughing at this?
I don't know.
right.
Yeah, man, it's just convenient, I guess. All right, I'm Pat.
All right,
I'm Will.
I'm Jeffrey.
Hitting the button.